Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Ghettofabulous Warhammer. A little different than my previous reports. I've been deployed with the Army for the last, almost the last year, so not many opportunities to get games in, but thankfully I was not deployed to an austere environment, so in my downtime I was able to actually dedicate some time to painting up and finishing an army, and here we see my lovely goblins. So I'm at Fort Bliss right now, demobilizing. Once I get my stuff done in about a week, I'll be able to head home and hopefully once again start putting up some actual battle reports. But I figured I'd at least put this up as a preview and talk about what I've put together. They're on these nice little trays. You know, obviously I painted these up. I don't mean I'm banged up shipping home, so I actually spent a little bit extra money and got what I thought would be the nicest way to bring them with me. I had to get the carry-on size so I could bring them on the flight with me instead of just throwing them into the cargo hold. And flying all the way back from Kosovo with mini transfers, nothing got broke. Everything traveled perfectly. It's a Pack 352 from Battle Foam. Again, it was not cheap, but after putting a lot of time and money into my little models here, a little extra to get something quality was worth it. I'm happy with the case. And again, nothing broke, so I can't complain about that. A little tight trying to fit everything on the trays, because I've got quite a few models, but everything squeezes together just right. So, no problem. So let's talk about what we made. I wanted to make a goblin army, so I did, obviously. And the goblins have mincers. Goblins are cowardly, and they're supposed to be kind of clever. So I wanted to make something with lots of mechanical things. So instead of just the mincers, which you can see there in the middle, we've got some other things too. Let's start with these on this tray. So we've got two regiments on the right of Fleabag Riders and two on the left of Maw Beasts. I call them Maw Bots. You can see they're little robots with a mechanic handler. And on the right, couple of actual Fleabag Riders, so it's easy for people to see what they are. And again, some more robots. The robots come from a mold set by a company called Hirst, H-I-R-S-T. And they've got all sorts of, they got 3 different molds actually with several different robot types. You can see I put the wheeled ones on the Fleabag Riders because they're the faster ones. The tracked ones, mostly tracked, for the Maw Beasts because they're not as fast, but they are nimble. Let's see what else we have. Trolls and the mincers. With the trolls, obviously you've got mantic trolls, again, to help make sure people aren't confused. And then these little like mechanical robot things are from, I think it's Cromlech Miniatures. And then again, I've got some little mechanics in there, so that kind of explains the ability for these units to still regenerate. The mechanics theoretically would be fixing these robots as they get damaged. This is a Reaper Ogre, I think, actually. I don't know if I'd use him as a... He's on a 40mm base, so I guess I would use him as a bruiser, although I'm not a big fan of bruisers. I guess if you put him on a slightly bigger base, he could be a giant, because he is taller than everybody else. And then the mincers. I tried to go with the kind of a simple, I don't know, grassland agricultural theme. So I've got some little corn stalks and some of these. A little shiny. I couldn't ship aerosol cans, so I could use paint bottle, like a liquid varnish, matte varnish on all my models, but I couldn't, after I applied all the flock and everything, I couldn't spray everything with a matte finish to get rid of some of that shine. So I'll have to spray it when I get home. Back here, these guys are a little heavier. See if I can pick them up. There we go. So I've got a horde of spitters, a horde of rabble, and I would probably end up using these as they're like a special unit that has regeneration and fights a little better. So I've got some robots in there, and again, another mechanic in the back. And then 2 regiments with a few regular goblins and a few robots in the back as well. And then finally, on the far side here, my ash and trash. I got all the models painted, but not everything quite based before I had to come home. So, got a couple standard bearers, mounted standard bearer. You can kind of see a standard. There you go. Couple war trombones, couple catapults, couple kings or goblin heroes, or whatever you want to call them. Big gits. Whiz. These guys are actually from the catapult kit, but they kind of look like leaders. And I'm trying to put together, I didn't get a chance to even start them, but I'd like a king or 2 on chariots. And I think these guys might be kind of cool to put as like the king on the chariot. And then I just happen to have a couple Mantic models I bought to be Lena Inverse and Naga the Serpent, some anime characters I've always liked. I can't mod I can't modify models very well, so I just kind of picked the closest ones I could find and painted them up the right way. So I was happy with those. But that's it. Again, hopefully by the end of this week, I will be back home. Week after that, start playing Kings of War and putting up some actual battle reports and analysis. So, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you soon.